always do what you are afraid to do. That's Emerson. Some good stuff right there. So true. And as we're traveling this road to 40, I want to thank everybody for spreading the word. I want to give a special shout out to Diantha, because you have diligently shared a lot of this stuff for me, and I really appreciate it. I love seeing people sharing the stuff and commenting and being amused and entertained and hopefully getting something from this too. So, respect. Anywho, fear. Fear is a funny thing, isn't it? It really is. It's nothing tangible. It's something that wells up inside you, but is that the actual fear? Is fear that welling inside you when something makes you scared? You know what I mean? Fear, I've learned, and I think anybody over the age of 30, well, I'm sure somewhere between 30 and 40 it starts to happen, I think. Maybe this is just me. I don't know. Maybe I'm just crazy. I guess I'll always be. There comes a time when, like, doing handstands in the yard, or cartwheels, or flips, or kip-ups, or all the stuff that I used to be able to do pretty well when I was younger. I mean, I was no ninja by any means, but I was very dexterous. I remember I used to walk the picket fence, not the picket fence, the the fence out front with no problem. Now, I might be able to still do that. But that's not my point. My point is the fear of doing these things grows in you the older you get. I think you start to realize, after you realize you're going to die, is that like you could easily break a bone. Like, I've seen too many videos of people breaking bones just like falling over, and I'm like, I don't want that to happen. I couldn't even imagine like falling and breaking the bone so bad. I better not talk about that. Some people might be squeamish. Anywho, I became afraid of heights. I'm going to tell you the depressing part of this, and then I'll tell you the happy ending at the end. It started one night. I had a dream. Grayson was still little. He might have been 2. And I had this dream where I come to the top of the stairs leading down to the basement. I used to not be able to tell the story without bawling. Seriously, even thinking about it. But I think both of my boys have gotten past the safe age, at least for this dream. I came to the top of the stairs. I don't know why I was going in there. And I looked down, and he was on the ground in just a pool of blood. Like, and it was so real, the dream, that it just... it had this... I don't know how it affected me in this way, but it made me afraid of heights. I don't know why, but I can't stand the boys being around things that are high enough for them to fall off of, that they could get seriously hurt or killed. I just can't do it. And I think, like, as much as I love, like, or I haven't done it in years, but, you know, going hiking, or, you know, not mountain climbing, but, you know, certainly doing some decent hikes in my life, and really just, I remember, well, this is my story, so let me transition this a little bit better. This fear was born by a dream of something that didn't actually happen. And I've never been the same ever since. Like, that dream... Oh, man, excuse me, I'm terribly sorry tonight. This coughing did something to my throat. Stupid throat. Yeah, and I don't like it, and I wish I could get past it, and I wish I could not be afraid of being, you know, high up on things, and not worry about the kids so much. Well, I mean, you gotta worry about your kids, but I don't know. Like, they climb too high in the trees, and I'm terrified. I mean, I guess a part of that's becoming a parent, too. It's not just growing older. I think part of it's older. I think it's maybe 50-50 in my case. Anywho, yeah, so that dream messed me up pretty bad. Oh, jeez, I've got so many stories to tell. Yikes. Anywho, yeah, depressing. But I was talking about hiking, and I've hiked in New Hampshire quite a bit, from like 18 to like 22 maybe, about 4 years every summer. The first year, I think I've told you this in a previous video about Chris Lambert. I went up with him the first time I'd been to the White Mountains, and we stayed at Indian Head. We were supposed to go as a big group, but a lot of people couldn't end up making it or something like that. Oh, it's only been 5 minutes. I'm really on a tear tonight. Anywho, the first time we went hiking, the first day, was Mount Pemigewasset. Mount Pemi, for short. It's not a high elevation, actually. I think it's like 2,500 feet. 2557. 779 for all my meters, for all my other friends around the world. Meters. I wish we would just take on the metric system here and just get it over with. Come on. Nobody's catching on to ours. Anyway, the view from Mount Pemigewasset is beautiful. Beautiful view. You see all the valleys and the mountains and the surrounding areas, and some are much higher, but you're still high enough up that you're really looking down on everything. Unfortunately, it used to be an Indian Head, Mount Pemigewasset, but it broke, I believe. No. It was the other one that broke. The State Quarter, the Profile. Remember Profile Rock? Well, you might still go there. I don't, because that would be a long-ass drive for me. 1,200 miles, something like that? Well, the first year I went there with Chris, we hiked up it. We got to the top. We went early in the day, and it was a very gray day, all day, rainy and gray. We got to the top, and it was foggy. If you've ever been on the top of a mountain and seen the fog rolling over the forest and over the streets, where it pretty much clouds out everything. You almost feel like you're above the cloud layer. Well, there's this rocky outfacing thing that kind of curves over and drops. I think it's a pretty big fall, 50, 60 feet or something like that, to the next set of rocks. Because is the bald face of the mountain where the stone is exposed, and then you got your incline from the other side. Sometimes you never know what you're gonna end up. But this side was the bald face, those stones, and so I took a picture of Chris holding his walking stick over his head, and then he took a picture of me right at the edge. Well, a year later we went back. I don't know if Chris went or not. I know it was me, I think Pete, Jimmy, and Goad. That might have been all that went. I've been with Corey a few times, though, too. He's done Boulder Loop Trail. Oh, that was a day trip we took. Me, Frank, and Chris drove up to Boulder Loop Trail. That's not even that high of an elevation, but that's a way tougher hike, because it's almost all uphill. You get to the waterfall about halfway up, which is awesome to stand under, because it's not super powerful. It's just when it's raining or in the spring, water comes off of it, and it's awesome just to get soaked by that. That's halfway, and then the rest is pretty much all hill after that. It's rough. There's a few places that you can stop and get off the trail and sit down, but not many, not enough. And I've never been in great shape. But I was probably in some of the better shape of my life when I did this, and I remember thinking, oh my god, this is crazy exhausting. So that was fun. But Mount Pemi, we went back the next year and we hiked it. Pete did hike it. Pete hiked with us to the top. Everybody went up. It was awesome. That was a good day. It was a really good day of my life. It was Goad, Jeff Godick, Jimmy Bassett, James Bassett, and Peter Burnt. And when we got to the top this time, I wouldn't go that close to the edge. Holy shit. The drop was it was 50 to 60 feet doesn't sound like a lot, but when you're standing up looking down to more stone that's pretty much just inches away if you slip or something like that. And I remember standing there with this stick above my head, my walking stick, and oh my god, if I had known then what I know now, I never would have got that close to the edge. But it's all in your head fear. I think the knowing is worse than the actual, act. I don't know how to explain myself there. It's almost like if somebody was going to commit suicide, the hardest part would be getting off the cliff. The falling and the dying would be quick and easy part, but like that's not exactly what I mean either. I don't know how to get my point across. I'm sorry. If I think about it again, I'll come back to this, but I call that Jason's climb. I don't know. I guess, I don't really care what happens to my body upon death. I hope that people can use my organs and whatever's left of my liver. No. But if I had to be romantic about it, I would probably want my ashes spread from the top of Mount Pemi. I don't think you can legally do that anymore. I don't know. But not like I care. Like, I could care less. I'm dead. It doesn't matter what you do with my body. Prop me up. Have me stuffed. I can wave to the neighbors every day for the rest of my life, or until I rot. I don't know how I got off the subject of that, but Jason's climb. It's kind of like Bruner's climb if you read the Salvatore books. If you're into fantasy, I have a little bit of a faux pas, or I have an issue with Wizards of the Coast Publishing. I don't like the way they publish books. I don't like the way they control the characters and pretty much say the writers can and can't do things. But R.A. Salvatore has managed to create and really use those characters, and I think they've given them a little bit more freedom over the year because events that happen in the books. But I couldn't really get into a lot of his other stuff. I tried reading I read the Highwayman. That was pretty good. I just couldn't get into the other ones after that. Yeah, I like that Salvatore, and I like that Stephen King. I haven't been reading a lot. I finally got around to reading that Salvatore book, only because I had it on audio too, so I could listen to it in the car, make up with it in the house. So it was back and forth. I read most of it actually, which is very rare. I usually only do audiobooks because I just don't have time to sit and read. But I worked Saturday and I brought the book with me. No, I didn't. I had the audiobook with me. The first day I started reading it, I went outside and blah, 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 blah. You don't care about that. Yeah. It's a good time, New Hampshire. I really love New Hampshire. I don't know. I just want to see other places first, but I could see myself, in 30 years, 20 years, moving back to New Hampshire and buying like a huge piece of land or something. That'd be fun. And the kids are out of the house. It'd be like, I could live in a teeny house, you know what I mean? Just me and Carol, just boop. That's all you need. Just one of those, like 900 square foot little, maybe not even that. I don't know. You never know where the road's gonna lead you. Past 40, past 30, past 20. I don't know. I'm rushing a white. Oh. That was stupid. Sometimes I just don't think and I say things and I regret. That bump. Anybody? That bump? Anybody else have that bump? I don't know if you can. You can't really see that right there. I don't know if it's like a calcium deposit. It hurts a little bit to press down on. I think I just cracked it. No. It definitely is more tissuey, but it's hard. It's definitely like very hard tissuey. Maybe I'm a mutant with superpowers. Well, this has been 13, 14 minute video. I'm happy with the way it went. Once again, if you guys are liking these, please subscribe. It'd be awesome. And certainly, pass it along. Diantha, you're off the hook. You've been sharing left and right. Pete Amaral, another guy that deserves a big shout out for sharing my stuff. Mark Davis, thanks for creating your little, your artist-driven blog there. There was another person who was willing to share it. And good guy, too. Great artist. Amazing artist. Yeah, those are my shout-outs for now, I guess. I'm sure I've forgotten somebody that I wanted to mention. But, it's weird. I can't find it now. Science. Anywho, I'm going to do another one of these because I think Carol's probably watching American Idol. So, don't want to see that. I've got little to nothing now, so I'm gonna have to come up with something within the next like 5 minutes, or I'm throwing in the towel for the night. This will be a really short night. I don't appreciate that at all. I'll have to come back and tell a personal story of some sort. Let's think of something. You guys, while you're waiting, go make a few people smile, and then come back, and we'll pick up in the next video on the road to 40. Episode 30. Oh, snap.